What's up, YouTube? It's Reggie, and today actually on Judges. I finished Joshua. I started reading it, and it just I said once I start reading, I just be going like time just stops. So I just kind of read. Um, so now I'm on Judges. Um, so if you want to follow along, I'm on Judges chapter 1. So let's get started. Let's get right into it. It says Judah's conquest of Canaan. Now after the death of Joshua, it came to pass that the children of Israel asked the Lord, saying, "Who shall go up for us against the Canaanites first, to fight against them?" And the Lord said, "Judah shall go up. Behold, I have delivered the land into his hand." And Judah said unto Simeon his brother, "Come up with me into my lot, that we may fight against the Canaanites. And I likewise will go with thee into thy lot." So Simeon went with him. And Judah went up, and the Lord delivered the Canaanites and the Perizzites into his hand. And they slew of them Berzich 10,000 men. And they found Adonai Berzich and Berzich, and they fought against him. And they slew the Canaanites and the Perizzites. But Adonai Berzich fled, and they pursued after him and caught him, and cut off his thumbs and his great toes. And Adonai Berzich said, 60 kings, having their thumbs and great toes cut off, gathered their meat under my table, as I have done, so God have requited me. And they brought him to Jerusalem, and there he died. Jerusalem captured. Now the children of Judah had fought against Jerusalem, and had taken it, and smitten it with the edge of the sword, and set the city on fire. And afterward the children of Judah went down to fight against the Canaanites that dwell in the mountains, and in the south, and in the valley. And Judah went against the Canaanites that dwelt in Hebron. Now the name of Hebron was before Kajaf Araba. And they slew Shishai, and Ammon, and Tamar. And from thence he went against the inhabitants of Debir. And the name of Debir was Kijir Sepher. Caleb's proposal. And Caleb said, "He that smiteth Kijir Sepher, and taketh it to him, will I give Asher my daughter to wife." And Ethaniel, the son of Kizar, Caleb's younger brother, took it. He gave him Asher his daughter to wife. And it came to pass, when she came to him, that she moved him to ask her father a field, and she lightened from off her ass. And Caleb said unto her, "What wilt thou get? What wilt thou?" And she said unto him, "Give me a blessing, for thou hast given me a south land. Give me also springs of water." And Caleb gave her the upper springs and the nether springs. And then the children of Canaanite, Moses' father-in-law, went up out of the city of palm trees with the children of Judah into the wilderness of Judah, which lieth in the south of Arad. And they went and dwelt with the people, among the people. Further conquests over Canaan. And Judah went from Simeon his brother, and they slew the Canaanites that inhabited Zephath, and utterly destroyed it. And the name of the city was called Hormah. Also Judah took Gaza with the coast thereof, and Asalecon with the coast thereof, and Ekron from the coast thereof. And the Lord was with Judah, and he drave out the inhabitants of the mountain, but they could not drive out the inhabitants of the valley, because they had chariots of iron. So that's the full chapter on this page, and I'm going to read the speaker notes. It says, after the death of Joshua, links the book of Judges with the preceding account of the conquest of Canaan in the book of Joshua, and sets the agenda for what follows. This is the story of generations following Joshua's death, who failed to continue the legacy of his faithfulness to the charge Moses gave him. Unlike Moses, Joshua left no successor, so Israel inquired of the Lord, who was then the commander-in-chief. Judah and Simeon covenanted together to fight against the Canaanites, providing a positive example of how the tribes could work together to possess land. The victory at Bosek is a positive beginning that heightens all the more tragedy of Israel's subsequent fall. Verse 9 introduces by designating the three regions in which these verses describe fighting. The fighting at Hebron and Debir were in the hill country. The Judean foothills are often called Shephelah. Othniel would later become the first of Israel's judges. Othniel, who was the younger brother or nephew of Caleb, captured Debir, and thereby gained the right to marry Caleb's daughter Asher. The children of Canaanite were descended from Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses. They also traveled with the Judahites from Jericho, the city of palm trees. Far from driving out the inhabitants of the land, they went out and dwelt among the people. Initial success of the part of Judah and Simeon were followed by jarring failure. They were unable to drive out the people living in the valley because they had chariots of iron. Iron was a relatively new discovery, and the Canaanites had the technological edge. And then it continues. It says, "And they gave Hebron unto Caleb, and Moses said, He expelled thence the three sons of Anak. And the children of Benjamin did not drive out the Jebusites that inhabited Jerusalem, but the Jebusites dwell with the children of Benjamin in Jerusalem unto this day. And the house of Joseph, they also went out against Bethel, and the Lord was with them. And the house of Joseph sent to destroy Bethel. Now the name of the city was Luz. And the spies saw a man come forth out of the city, and they said unto him, Shew us, we pray thee, and the entrance into the city, we will show thee mercy. And when he shewed them the entrance of the city, they smote the city with the edge of the sword, but they let the man go and all his family. And the man went into the land of the Hittites, and built a city, and called the name thereof Luz, which is the name thereof this land, of this day, unto this day. Neither did Manasseh drive out the inhabitants of Bethshean and her towns, nor Taranach and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Dor and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Ebelam and her towns, nor the inhabitants of Megiddo and her towns, but the Canaanites would dwell in the land. Canaanites paid tribute. And it came to pass, when Israel was strong, that they did not put the Canaanites to tribute, and did not utterly drive them out. Neither did Ephraim drive the Canaanites that dwell in Gezer, but the Canaanites dwell in Gezer among them. Neither did Zebulun drive out the Keturah, nor the inhabitants of Naphtali. But the Canaanites dwell among them and became tributaries. Neither did Asher drive out the inhabitants of Archer, nor the inhabitants of Zidon, nor of Abla, or nor of Ezeber, nor of Halaba, nor of Apala, or Rehoboth. But the Asherites dwelt among the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land, for they did not drive them out. Neither did Naphtali drive out the inhabitants of Beersheba, nor did Bethano, but he dwelt among the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land. Nevertheless, the inhabitants of Beersheba and Bethano became tributes unto them. And the Amorites forced the children of Dan into the mountain, for they would not suffer them to come down to the valley. But the Amorites would dwell in the Mount Heres and Alajah and Shebelon. Yet the hand of the house of Joseph prevailed, so that they became tributaries. And the coast of the Amorites was from the going up of Akrib for the rock and upwards. And then the speaker notes it. The house of Joseph had a mixed experience at Bethel. The similarities and differences to the assault on Jericho under Joshua are striking. As the chapter unfolds, conquest is replaced by the cohabitation. Manasseh failed to drive out the inhabitants of the villages in his territory. Even when the Messianites became stronger than the Canaanites, they failed to drive them out. Instead of exacting tribute, the same approach was followed by Ephraim, Zebulun, Asher, and Naphtali. The worst situation of all was that the children of Dan, who were shut up in the hill country by the Amorites, who were determined to stay in their cities, apparently the inhabitants of the land were more determined to stay there than God's people were to obey the Lord's command to drive them out. And that's how it ends. So basically, my takeaway from this is that the people, the Israelite people at this time, they were different tribes, so that's why they named them by the tribe name. But basically, those people were scared to fight the people, and they just were cool with being with the other people because they were like, oh, well, I don't want to fight, you know what I'm saying? I might as well just dwell with them. But that went against God's commandment, because God's command was to drive out all these people and destroy them, because they had different, they worshipped other gods. They weren't followers of God, Yahweh. So they were followers of other pagan gods. So it's just like, by them not driving out them and by living with them, it basically was assigned to God in a way that, like, I don't, like, from my interpretation, you know what I'm saying, open interpretation, but from what I get, it's like assigned to God that, one, you value just in, you're valuing staying with them and being partners with them more than actually following the command that I gave you. Which, key takeaway for me, relating that to my life, is I feel like throughout my life there's been times where I chose to live for the world instead of living for God's commandments and following the commandments He gives us. And it's like He's blessed me so many times. It's crazy for me to keep living like that. So recently I've changed as far as I've been definitely prioritizing God a lot more and just fully focusing on him. Like not too long ago, probably like I think it was actually yesterday that I deleted social media, and I just haven't like had the need to download it or felt the need to download it. And I actually felt like yesterday I felt super good. Like I didn't use any cuss words, anything as far as I didn't have those thoughts, nothing like that. And even today, I haven't had those thoughts, and it's just been like a whole new like change for me as far as a lot of stuff I used to battle with. As far as it was mainly because I was on social media, where the devil has the will to he can put a lot of stuff on your page that you like, a lot of lustful stuff that you can see, even if you don't follow that type of stuff. And now I'm not seeing that, so I'm not thinking about it even more, which is beautiful. And I'm honestly at peace now. I would say 100%. I'm not feeling anxious. I'm not feeling worried. And even now, I have a shift that I have later on at 3, and now I'm about to just chill. You know what I'm saying? And it just shows that when you trust God and follow His commandments, that life gets better. And that's something that it took a while for me to like finally get, but I'm finally starting to grasp that and understand that. And honestly, it's a blessing to be able to, after all the sins that I committed, all the negativity and all the living for the world that I did, to finally actually be able to say that I'm changed and I'm made better. Um, and yeah, like I get baptized Sunday. Tomorrow I'm going to Cali for a work trip. Like it's really a blessing to be in the position I am now. So I just want to share this message and hopefully to help some hearts as far as even if you just want to like if you it doesn't like life hasn't turned around for you and you haven't fully converted to as far as following God. I pray that you do it today. Like there's never going to be a perfect time to change. Never going to be a perfect time to give up like everything, like to sacrifice for God, because at the end of the day there is stuff you got to give up. Like there's a lot of stuff that I had to give up, but I'm okay with giving it up, because at the end of the day I know that I'm going to inherit the promised land. And now that I can hear God, I can hear Him at all times, and He gives me strength. He gives me power to be able to do whatever I need, whether that's fasting, um, wisdom, patience. Because I know for me, I've been super impatient in my life, and I just pray every night for wisdom, patience, self control, and it's been working as far as I can see myself in real situations actually be able to use that self control, that discipline, that patience. So I urge you to just reach out to God, change your life now as far as give it to God, give Him your heart, and just start letting Him work through you and just improve you as far as turning into the man or woman that you're supposed to be. Um, Stay blessed, and I'll be back tomorrow. Peace.